This is Star Posner,
Grayson Melner,
Shyla Calloway,
Noah Ramirez, and you're listening to College Speaks. Shout out to Red Bull, you're not sponsoring this episode, but you could. Today we're talking pretty much about how we are looking back on our college experience, what we've learned so far, what we haven't learned, what we wish we learned, and what we want other people to learn from our mistakes. Who wants to start it off? Let's say Star. But before that, let me get a clear audio of me popping the top of my thing, because there's nothing more satisfying than the sound of like just opening a soda.
just ASMR. Just
Shout out to Red Bull, you're not sponsoring this episode, but you could.
I don't know. I don't like Red Bull.
Really?
Is that sacrilegious?
I think so. What do you drink?
I drink coffee, but I have ADHD, so like, even if I drink Red Bull, it'd put me to sleep.
Cut Shyla's mic.
Oh.
Star, what was your question that you had?
So I thought this would be an interesting question to start off with. So when you pictured your life at this age when you were a kid, what did you get wrong?
College. No, I knew I was going to college, but I didn't know I was going to college here. Like if you would have met me when I was a kid, my top three were Berkeley, UCLA, and Columbia. And I had a conversation junior year of like $880,000 a year, and UNLV started looking very, very good for that $10,000 tuition. But my mom went here, so I feel like it was also just the fact like I don't want to do what my parents did. I want to be away. I want to be free, but.
So legacy was like a big part of it.
Yeah, like my mom wanted me to come here so bad, but like I feel like she knew that I could get into out of state. So when I finally did say that I was going to go to UNLV, suddenly it was like, no, you can't go to UNLV. You have to go out of state. And I was like, wait, we could be like alma mater twins. Like I graduate from where you graduate. But yeah, it's just that everything else I've viewed pretty much the same. Broadcasting has always been in the cards. Acting has always been in the cards. It's just the placement of my life.
Do you regret not going out of state at all?
Sometimes I do. Especially being, African American, HBCU culture has been prevalent to me since I was little, and I swore up and down that I would never go to a HBCU. And then now that I'm here, like a lot of my experiences that I've had here, I was like, especially since I changed my major, I was like, dang, I really could have just hopped over to HBCU and I'd be studying the same thing and nothing would be different. Other than that, I like it here. I have a lot of connections here. Hollywood is technically moving to Vegas currently, so it's a good place to be for acting. So I don't have regrets about coming here. I think it's just timing. It's definitely made me look on my graduate years and think of I'm probably going to go out of state for grad.
Gray to you.
Looking back at our post-secondary schooling, so going through high school, middle school, how did that prepare us for where we are today? Or in what ways, how did it not prepare us?
I feel like I was very ill-prepared when it came to college. I feel like I had to do a lot of learning on my own. I feel like it did prepare me for, taking tests and like studying. But when it came to paying bills and being an adult, like that was a lot of stuff that just like wasn't talked about. And luckily, there's a lot of resources available, like on the internet. We grew up in the internet age, so I have been able to like learn through other podcasts and things, and other people's experiences. When you're in high school, I don't know, I wasn't prepared.
In high school, for like interests wise, what were you interested in high school? Just coming in.
I did think that I was gonna go to college. But then surprisingly enough, when I got out of high school, I was actually, let me take a gap year. And then I took a gap year. I was living in, so I'm actually from Cali. I grew up in LA. And I was just like, should I go to college? I was like, spent that. And then the pandemic happened. And then that's actually feel like the reason why I ended up in college was like, I didn't have anything else to do. Okay, so let me actually like do college, and then I started taking community college classes, doing that online, and then I've changed my major like 3 times. I was a Spanish major at first. I know a little bit of Spanish from that. I was a music major because always since I was little I've been wanting to be like a singer, and then after that I moved to Vegas because a friend why don't you come out to Vegas, because she lived out here and I wanted to get out of LA. As much as I love LA, I needed something something different. I decided to go to UNLV because they offer, if you didn't know this, a native fee waiver, and I'm Native American, so I'm able to go to college for free. So I was like, I feel like I should take advantage of that. And yeah, I feel like I'm kind of veering away from your question, but that's just a little bit of background of like how I ended up here. And as much as I would have loved how high school would have prepared me for what I was gonna face into adulthood, I feel like it didn't.
Yeah, for sure. Noah, I'm going to ask you a little more. I'm going to go a little deeper onto that question. How do you think that your advisors and your counselors helped you prepare to get into that next step for you?
In high school, I had a really untraditional high school experience, but when I went to college, I actually dropped out in 2020 because of COVID, and I took a couple years off, coming back in, I think, the end of 2023 or either 2024, and because I was like working at a job that I did not like, which I still work at, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, so I need to know that I need to establish myself in something that I enjoy, that I can go to work every day. And so far, every single advisor that I've had has helped me way more than I thought they would. Specifically at this college, everybody, I usually go to the same person, shout out Kamisha Johnson. She has really set me up for like what I would call success, because every question I had, she answered. Every time I was like, I don't know if I should just not repeat this class that I failed like 5 years ago, or if I should just keep going forward. And I'm glad that I did retake classes, because I was able to learn things and meet people that I wouldn't have met otherwise. But the best thing that I could say is that every single person at your college hopefully wants to see you succeed. There is no resource here, hopefully at any college, that they're like looking for you to fail. Everybody wants to have something that they can like prop up and be like, oh, I remember Gray was in my undergraduate class, now he's leading a Fortune 500 company. Like anybody that can say that, any professor that can say that would be happy to. I was really afraid when I first started college to utilize resources that we had. And we're lucky coming from a metropolitan area that our school probably has more resources than a school like in the Midwest, but your school does have some kind of resource that you can utilize to the best of its ability. It might be hard to understand how to use it, but it's definitely there to help you.
I think I 100% agree on that. And for a lot of people, it's the hardest part is that first step of asking for help or trying to find where you can find that help. Shai, what you got on this kind of stuff?
I had amazing advisors, I would say, in high school. I was a military brat, so moving everywhere, I met a lot of different people. I was definitely the kid that was always in trouble in the front office, and being that kid, you get to know the front office people a lot. So I was always hanging out with the secretaries, everything like that. When it finally got time to crack down on college, my advisors at my school were definitely very helpful. The cool thing about my high school, one of the only cool things is upstairs we had a college and career center, and shout out Miss Michelle Tidball, because she'd sit down with you for hours when you were like whatever year, and she'd work out what college you want to do, how much this would cost, what scholarships, everything like that. And she definitely, I started talking to her my sophomore year, did a couple clubs with her, and I would just check up with her every year. And then when it got time for senior year, she was definitely kind of a truthful person. She was like, if you don't get your act together, you're not going to go wherever you want to go, or you're not going to get into a program that you want to get into. She helped me a lot, but I definitely think that it's also your outside advisors. My club advisors did the best that they could to help me find connections within the Vegas area, so that when I finally got to college, I'd be able to call people and be like, hey, I need to get into this. Can you call somebody, make something shake so I can get into this class or something like that. And they helped me a lot, and they prepared me for, I would say, the academic and the career aspect of college, but definitely what Star said when it came to the financial aspect of college. I've definitely been kind of just teaching myself as I go, especially since I'm 18. Like before I came here, I was literally on the phone with my insurance company trying to get my auto insurance figured out.
Love that,
so
right?
Yeah, like they couldn't do anything, but I knew that. So it's like I've always been on the track where it's kind of like when you talk to somebody who went to school in the early 1900s, they tell you like, oh, we used to have, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. Like one of my mom's friends, she's like 95, and she always talks about how like when she was in high school, you could go to high school for like a specific trade. Like she went to high school for nursing, and they took finances classes. Like they taught you how to pay your taxes, they taught you how to pay bills, everything like that. And then you look at our high school system, and we're like sitting in like 8-hour school day learning about like the Pythagorean theorem. And it's kind of like, if I'm going to be, I don't know, if I'm going to be an artist, why do I need to know what a squared plus b squared equals c squared for? So I definitely think when it comes to financial literacy, our certain high schools have definitely failed the system with that. And I feel like that's why you get so many college kids who are like, I'm in debt, like I don't know how to pay off my debt, or I don't know who I call for, or even something as simple as like I had to buy my birth certificate. I didn't even know you could do that. I thought I thought it was screwed. I was like, well, who do I call? What do I do? I had to search up on Google, like, how do I get a birth certificate? Paid like $65 for a birth certificate, and then a social security card. When it comes to real world stuff, I definitely think school systems failed on that stuff, which is kind of crazy because school's supposed to teach you everything.
Gray, do you feel like you could hit the ground running right out of high school?
I don't know. I felt like it, but for me, it wasn't based off of schooling. For me, I started working when I was 14, and the way that I went through schooling was, okay, let me just try and do the minimum possible to still make sure I get out of here. For me, my advisors-wise were on the opposite end. So I took AP classes for all 4 years through high school, and the first 3 out of the 4 years...
Nerd.
Yeah, nerd, a little bit. But the first 3 out of the 4 years, my advisor told me, oh, you're looking to go to Las Vegas? Your AP credits aren't going to transfer, so there's no point in even taking the test. Yeah, that's what they told me. And then senior year, I get a new advisor. She goes, what have you been doing? Why haven't you taken a single test? And I was like, they told me not to because it's not going to count. And she's like, you just missed out on probably a whole year of school. And I'm like, oh, that's so great, because that's always so fun when you just see thousands of dollars just poof. So I've had a very different experience when it comes to my advisors on that end. But I agree very much with the financial literacy part. I work with a charity here, Junior Achievement Wise, which is working specifically with kids in that middle school to high school age, teaching them that base of, what does the dollar look like? You can't just go buy 1,000 popcorns because you feel like it. There's money comes from somewhere. How are you going to get it? And that is a huge thing for value for me that I think it should be taught more in schools. And I'm glad that there's places that are trying to interpret it and involve others in it for it.
Is it my question time?
I think so.
If you could talk to your younger, either your past self or your future self, what would you say? Noah.
I think I would say failure is fine. If you're going to fail no matter what, I remember being so afraid to just like mess up, especially like in college. Everybody here is professional, quote unquote, or they're like more serious about what they want to do, right? Every class I've taken is at least filled with people who have no idea, or they're like, I'm just taking this class because I think I should, not because I want to. And I would tell like little Noah, I'd say like, just fail. It's fine. Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. Nothing that you do is going to be right the first time. There are so few people that are perfect. Not even, like, skill is something that you learn, something that becomes a muscle that you have to constantly do. And that's just something that you have to deal with. Like, some people are going to be better than you out the gate, and some people are going to have to struggle a bit. But it doesn't make anybody's success any more valid than the last person's.
Would you say that like all of your experiences, like who you are now, is why you believe that? And like if you had to see, like if your future self walked through the door right now, would you be like, have we failed? Did we succeed? Like, would you ask questions, or do you think you'd be content with just finding out for yourself?
I think my future self now would be like, I'm so proud of you for showing up every day. Even though, and some days you call out of work just because you're not feeling well. And not because you're sick, but because you just want to do it. And that's fine too. Like, you have to take breaks, and you have to understand that no path to success is just whatever success looks like for you is just a straight line. Everybody struggles with their own thing. And I'm very much someone that's like, I want to help you if you come to me. You know what I mean? You have to ask someone for help. I don't believe in just like waiting for someone to ask if you need help. You know what I mean? So it's like, if any of you came to me and they're like, I need help, I'd be like, I'm here for you. You know what I mean? I want to be that person that can go to someone and just be ready to help them. Not someone that's going to like grab them off the street and I want to help you. You know what I mean? Like, Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to give my future self any advice because I would hope my future self is a lot wiser than I am right now. I feel like, but my past self, I would definitely want to just like let her know that like, yo, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through it. All these tough times, it's going to be worth it. You're going to be doing things that you never thought you were going to be doing. In a good way, because I grew up like a very shy person. I'm still kind of shy and working through that, but like I've come a long way. The fact that I'm here right now is kind of an accomplishment. I'm able to talk with you guys and elaborate my thoughts a little better than when I did when I was younger. But yeah, future self, I hope you're a lot wiser than I am right now and you're able to give me some better advice. But yes.
Oh, I have so much. I would be the type of guy who would just be screaming my past self out right now. Like, what were you doing? Like, no. For me, in my past, I feel like I needed a lot of reassurance to keep going. And I kept searching for it. So I would definitely tell myself, you know, you're not behind. You got it.
Everybody wants a pat on the head.
It's a little bit. But then right after that, absolutely straight to chewing him out. Like, why are we procrastinating everything? Take risks earlier. You know, don't think about this stuff for forever and ever until you don't even get the opportunity to do it.
I feel like that's always the hard one once you get older is what if I would have just spoken up in that moment and like took that leap?
Exactly. And that's almost what I'm saying, or what I would say to my future self is that same thing of don't get too comfortable, you know. Living in that uncertainty is kind of where you get to benefit from so much different experiences and opportunities, and making sure that you're staying ambitious and curious and still finding out all these new things because we still got a lot of time before we got to figure out what the heck we're doing, you know?
Well, you guys do.
No, yeah, sorry. I'm a little baby. I'm only 19, so I'm just here.
I'm I'm the unk for sure.
I'm 24. How old are you?
I'm 29. I turned 30 this year, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm only 18.
wow, okay.
I turn 19 next week.
For audio listeners, Gray just like repulsed at my age.
So young, so
he looks so
lavishing.
youthful.
Thank you. You're all correct.
But yeah, for me, I definitely would say if I stay consistent now, both versions would win. And that's the huge thing. I would try and tell both of them.
Let me ask my question. Are we cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's okay. Are we cool? In all honesty, would you tell someone that college was worth it? You know, like if they were in your same field, not even that, just like your little niece, your nephew, whatever. Do you think I should go to college?
Honestly, I've been like this since I was little. My mom actually agrees with me on this standpoint. College is not for everyone. Thankfully, when I was little, I always saw college being in the cards for me. My mom went to college, like I said. My dad went to college, I'm pretty sure. But college, I just wanted to go to college for the experience. The school, yes, but also the experience of being that kind of young adult, figuring it out, you know, what you see in the movies. But when I look at like my godbrother, my godsister, they didn't go to college. My brother dropped out of college and he's living in Amsterdam right now. Like he travels the world doing photography and he didn't have to go to college to do that. My mom was in the military and that's how she got to college. So I have always been on the standpoint when it comes to my younger friends. I always tell them like don't let yourself be forced into college, because then when you get there, if you're forced into college, there's more than a chance that you're gonna end up dropping out because you're not gonna want to be there anymore. And sometimes people just, once you're done with school, you're done with school. If you just want to go into the working field, so many times people get bachelors and masters and then you'll go to like the job of your dreams and you'll submit that application, you'll get that interview, and then you'll get that email saying that you're overqualified for the job that you worked so hard for. And at times I feel like college is such a fantasy that a lot of people feel like if they don't go to college, they're going to fail. But I feel like if you stick your mind to whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's acting, whether it's business, whether it's music, whether it's art, like whatever you want to do, college does not have to be that goal to get there. Honestly, college is just a place for you to meet connections. But you can just walk into McDonald's and see a guy in a suit and be like, yo, are you hiring? And get a job interview that way. So I wouldn't recommend college. I really wouldn't. I'd tell somebody to do their research before they submit that application, because if you go, you got to be willing to stay there for that 4 years and possibly more depending on what you want to do. And sometimes that's just not worth it, especially with the costs, because this is a business. College itself is a business, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Star, what do you think?
I don't think college is necessary for a lot of like career paths. Like my biggest dream in life is to be a voiceover actor because I feel like it kind of encompasses all the stuff that I want to do. I want to.
Can we get a little sample of that? Can you say In a World?
What?
In a
Sing
World.
something?
You ever see the In a World movie trailers?
Like that. Like in DC Comics.
Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. I don't know.
Can you give
putting
us
me on
like
the
a little
spot.
Starfire?
Starfire. What do you mean? Like, I feel like I need a script or something to put me on the spot like that.
Can you give us a Minnie Mouse?
Oh my gosh.
Miss Piggy.
Like the.
Well, what branch of voice acting? I feel
no,
like.
I want to do like commercial stuff.
Oh, okay,
I feel like
so
my
we
biggest
put you-
dream. Yeah, I was like, I can't. Yeah, I want to do like commercial stuff. I would like. I mean, my biggest goal. I'm putting it out into the universe. I would like to be a Disney princess. I feel like, yeah, unfortunately, Pocahontas isn't a good storyline. Like the actual history behind it is unfortunate. So I feel like there needs to be another native Disney princess. So I feel like there needs to be another storyline. So putting that out there that I could be the next native Disney princess. So we shall see.
You know what? I want that for you so bad. That would
Thank you.
actually be gas because I know people who love the Pocahontas movie.
I know,
and
it's
they're
like-
the soundtrack, and I love the
Yeah,
soundtrack, but
this-
I'm like, no.
Yeah, just like the actual story is very unfortunate. Okay, yeah, but college, I don't think it's necessary for career paths like that, but I do think it helped me a lot with my confidence, and luckily I was able to find like resources and stuff to help me out. And yeah, so don't think it's necessary, but it did help me out.
Yeah, and I definitely would agree on that. Kind of, to a point. I'm coming from a different area because I'm a business major than all you guys. So for me, I don't think the degree is just enough to go to college. I mean, you can do that really anywhere. Go wherever. You can go to some community college, go get your degree doing the same stuff. The difference when you're going to like a public college, and something that I didn't get by going to UNLV that I was kind of expecting, is the college life and those connections that we do talk about. I grew up in the Midwest, and if you know anything about Midwest colleges, it's very bar life. Go to the frats.
Ohio State, forever.
Watch out.
Buckeyes.
Watch out. But it's very college town area. The way that I like to say it is out there, it's a town or a college that has a town focused around it, compared to where we are right now. We're in a city that has a college in it. And we're very much minuscule when compared to looking at us at that long way. And so it really depends on your values, because you can get a lot out of college depending on what you're looking for, but it's all really what you're trying to get to, and you have to drive yourself that same way.
I am very pro college, despite everything that it's cost me, like financially, mentally, anything else. Like, I think it was totally worth it. Sometimes I open up my student loans and I just stare at it for like 2 hours, but there is nowhere else that you can really learn critical thinking skills or a college environment. That you'll meet people that you wouldn't meet at work. Like, you understand things that you wouldn't have had an access to, really. Like, you have YouTube, you have TikTok, but none of that compares to sitting in a classroom, hearing from someone who's done it, someone who's spent years of their life dedicating themselves to education and to educating the next person that's going to do it. I would say, like, honestly, I would take on twice as much debt if I understood the benefit of how much college has changed my life. I am so fortunate to be able to hopefully graduate this May and just take everything that I've learned, everything that I've seen, everybody that I've met. I met so many amazing people that I'm lucky enough to call friends now in college that I never would have met just at work or just, I don't know, going to and from the 7-Eleven when I get my coffee in the morning. I don't think there's anything that compare to it. There isn't anything that can. And I would say, if you're thinking about college, take one class. If you like it, you can take another class. If you love it, then you can put a schedule together. The worst thing that you can do is not like a class, but you still learn something at the end of the day, even if it's just learning like small auto repair or something.
I think that's smart. I definitely think the relationships wise, that college mindset, if you do go to college, will hit you differently. I have friends who didn't go, taking gap years, like you said, everything like that. And sometimes when I'm hanging out with them, I just think to myself, like, wow, like our views are like here and like here, and it fluctuates sometimes. Like sometimes I'm genuinely, when I tell them like, well, I have an exam, I have a paper, I have a test, I have a club meeting, I have this, that, and the other, I'm trying to do this, that. And they're like, well, I'm just going to work, to be honest, and like going back home. And I feel like at times I feel like that disconnect between like a kid in college versus their friend not in college, it can almost feel like there's a bridge between the two of you, where you guys used to be on solid ground together, but now you both are in totally different pathways of your life. And I feel like that's been a little hard for me to navigate, which is kind of why I wouldn't recommend college for a kid, because like sometimes I feel like I can't relate to my friends anymore. And I feel like that sucks, because when you're in college, you're isolated. Everybody here is from some different place, or if you lived here. And when you're isolated, you know, you want to have your friends to lean back on. But when all your friends are talking about like how all of them went roller skating 2 weeks ago, but like you couldn't go because you had a paper, it's kind of like, wow.
I'm kind of the opposite of that. Like, I understand what you're saying, but my friends are like, oh my God, we're going to have a baby. Thank God I don't have to worry about that.
No, that's real. That's real. One of my like co-hosts on my radio show, one of the things she always tells me, because when she went to college, she got pregnant. And anytime I'm venting to her about college, she's like, no matter what you're going through, be glad you're not going through it with the child. And I'm like, wow. But you do open Instagram and you're like, wow, Denise from, you know, AP Lit junior year, she's married with like 2 kids now. And you're just like, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm going on my way to Math 120, failing a class. Star, do you think, because I know you said you took a break, especially during COVID, do you have that disconnect?
I guess so, but also I don't really know what it would be like, because I feel like all of my friends who did go to college outside of school, they had a very like unique experience because of the pandemic. I feel like I was just destined to have like a unique experience with college, because like now I'm going into college now that I'm older, and I'm very appreciative of it and have more of a focused mindset, where I feel like if I was younger, then maybe I would not have had, I don't know, I got a little scrambled with my
Do you
thoughts.
guys get that a lot? Like, are you guys happy you went when you're older because you're more?
I am definitely happier that I went when I'm older. I was not mature enough for sure the first time that I went. You know, sometimes things just aren't ready for you, or you're not ready for that. And that's another thing of like failing, kind of. If you sometimes like you start something that's not for you, and you can come back to it, and that's okay. Just take your time, take a breath. You're ready for it when you're ready for it.
And then, I mean, I'm just going to kind of wrap us up here. I think a lot of what we talked about today was overall about, you know, navigating that transition from being a childhood, living with your parents, to going into that adulthood. And as we just were talking about, it happens at a very different pace for everybody. I would like to thank everybody who is listening for listening to our first episode. Thank you guys. We will be doing weekly episodes, so please stay tuned. We will have social media rolling out here as well, so please make sure you're interacting, following us on there, and keeping up.
We will have a big presence on Napster.
Thank you guys. My name is Grayson Melner.
I'm Noah Ramirez.
Shyla Calloway.
Star Posner.
And this is College Speaks. Thank you.